So now we're at lesson 15D, and in the next preview assignment in the next class, you're going to need to be familiar with the concept of blocking in an experimental design. So keep in mind, we are going through many definitions, many concepts and ideas. And if you're kind of muddy on some of the things that we talked about, you might want to take a moment and go iron some of those out, because we're about to add more to what we've already been talking about. And the things that we're adding are called blocking and experimental design. Oops, there's a whole lot of reading. There's a whole lot of thinking. So let's practice underlining. Let's practice reading a little and summarizing, and just a whole lot of thinking. And that's a great thing. Suppose that you have been asked to test claims that a serum will cause notable hair growth in individuals with thinning hair. You have bottles of liquid from the company that are marked X or Y. One is the medicated serum and the other is the placebo, and you do not know which is which! Exclamation mark. You place an advertisement to gather volunteers, and that can be good and bad because the volunteers are going to self-report, but you've got an ad, you're going to gather volunteers, and then we could even dice up where the ad is, where it was located, etc. But we've got an ad and we have volunteers. 52 individuals with thinning hair show up. Half are men and half are women. And you're not really sure if the serum is going to affect men and women equally. So one way to conduct the experiment is to consider the men and women separately, just like you're conducting two experiments. And when we're talking about blocking, I think this may be one of the best things, and that really says blocking. This may be one of the best ways to start getting in your brain an idea that blocking really means you're conducting two experiments within one. And by blocking, a block is a group of individuals with something in common. And the something, that's up to you. What are you trying to look at? And in this case, we create a block of males and a block of females, and then perform the same experiment on each block. Here's what this person is going to do. They are going to examine each participant's head and make measurements of their hair weight. Then this person sends the participants home with bottles of liquid and instructions on how to apply it to their heads daily. You carefully note whether the participants were given serum X or whether they were given serum Y. After 4 weeks of applications, you invite the participants back in and you repeat the examination. Using an accepted measurement method, you measure the percentage again in hair weight, and then the percentage is recorded in the following table. Always analyze a table: percentage gain of hair weight. And so you have females on serum X, or using serum X, females using serum Y, males using X, and males using Y. These are the results. Inside of your D2L folders, you're going to find a spreadsheet for this lesson. So we're now looking at the spreadsheet. It's the same information on your printed worksheet, but it's in spreadsheet form to help us to do the calculations faster. There's no need to do these by hand. And so what it asks you on question part A is, what does a negative percentage in the table indicate? And the negative percentage gain of hair weight indicates hair loss in an individual. Then looking at parts B, C, D, and E, it's asking us to find the average percentage gain of hair weight for females using serum X. That's part B. So on your spreadsheet, practice typing in average, and then we'll click the first of the line, colon, down to the end of the line, parentheses, and I hit return. And I was playing with it a while ago, so it's now in 2 decimal places, and it says the nearest hundredth. But when I do the next one, I wonder if I can slide across. Hang on. Now, let me go ahead and show you this one because it didn't give me decimals at the first. So I'm going to do average again from here down to there. Close parentheses, and when I hit equals, it's not giving it to me to 2 decimal places. So I'm going to go up here to number, expand number, and you see where it says percentage under number. I want 2 decimal places. And so there it's going to give me the 2 decimal places. Now I'm going to see if I can drag this across and see if it'll let me do, and yes, it does. So now we have the percentages for the average growth, and some of them had loss, of use for females and males using the serum X and serum Y. So part F says, based on the averages, which serum is more effective, and for the females, it is serum Y, and for the males, it is serum Y. Part G, based on the averages, what does the more effective serum affect men and women differently? And then when I look here, 12 and 3100ths, 12 and 5400ths, that's darn close. That's pretty close. So I think we can say no, it doesn't affect them differently, that the average percentage growth for serum Y was approximately the same for both men and women. So now, looking on at question 2, there are other ways to compare this data, and one way is by making and comparing dot plots of the data. You may want to just do this by hand. I'm going to have to do some finagling to get this to work on Excel. There's some pre-programmed information in here, but we'll make this work. And you may really want to do this by hand, but let's go ahead and try it first. And maybe if I cut it a little differently. So I'm going to copy this information and see if it'll let me paste it over here. Okay, we got it. And now I need, and I may have to back up one and go taller than it to say sort and filter smallest to largest. And it gives it to me smallest to the largest. And then to do a scatter plot, I need to number. Oh, good. It's not going to do percentages. It did percentages when I practiced before I was recording. So I just need to number how many of these I have and building frequency. And so these are offered once, twice, they appear. And then I can grab both of these columns, ask it to insert charts. So that wasn't bad. As long as I got over further, it was better. Scatter, let's do that one because it actually shows that negative going on. And let's title it Female Serum X. And when we look at female serum X, there is a normal distribution, if you will, trying to happen back here, but it's far to the left, hovering out over here around 0 and 1%. So I want to keep doing that for all 4 of these. So let's go ahead and move this one out of the way. I've got to leave that there so it can still pull from that data. So let me copy and paste another. And let me go ahead and sort and filter. And it doesn't like me. So let's do this differently. I'll go ahead and go one above and then ask it to sort smallest to largest. It still doesn't like me. Let's see if I can continue with the same. Well, it did it. Okay, and then I need to go in here and count my objects. And then grab both columns and ask it to insert charts, all charts, scatter. And, ooh, that one looks weird. Interesting. It doesn't show a nice little normal curve, but boy, it does show a shift. We're not over here at 0 and 1 anymore. We're way over here, even reaching up to like 21. Yeah. And let's call this one Female Serum Y, because that one worked better for both females and males. And now I'm running out of space over here, but we'll find something. So let's do males X copy. Let's come over here somewhere and paste. That'll take it there. And I'm going to back up one. Let's see if it'll let me sort smallest to large. It still doesn't like me. So we're going to continue. Oh, I've got stuff beside it. It doesn't like that. And then let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoa. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. And after we've counted them, it gives it a frequency. So we can do insert, chart, all charts, scatter. Ah, interesting again. And this one's heavy over here on the left, but then we do have a lot that are reaching up to 12. This one is male, serum X. And then we'll put this one, file it over here somewhere. And let's see if we can put the last one right here in the middle of the screen and not have to go to another screen. Copy, paste, and let's see if it's going to let me sort these from smallest to largest. Yeah, and then counting them, and good, it didn't do percentages. Oh, and now it's doing percentages. Let me see if I can clear contents, and it may not like me clearing contents. It may care less. Yep, it's going to do percentages, so I've got to go. Let's find some place to go. Nope, probably not there. I don't know how to get rid of the, I'll have to go outside our screen, and I'm going to count for you. 1, oh, it's going to put it for us. 2, oh, oh, and it's going to do percentage there too. Oh, and it did it on this one. Well, I didn't even notice that it had done it on the others. Let me play around with this. I'll be right back. So what I did is I've grabbed column J and I've copied it over here to O, and I'm going to try to count 1, 2, 3, and it's going to stay not percentage. 1, 2 on the 8%, 1, 1, 2 on the 13, 1, 1, 1, and then 1, 2 on the 20. And so let's grab this information. I need to hit Control, hold it down to grab this information. That's why I said you may want to freehand this one. This one's getting, oh, and it just doesn't like me. So I'm not sure why it doesn't like me. Let's grab one above. And let's grab one above here and see if it'll like me now. Insert charts. And it likes me now that I grabbed one above on both of them. The charts look very similar. Let me grab the one with the title. And again, it's shifted over here to the right. And it is still doing percentage. And this is male serum Y. And so now looking at the male serums, notice the X is shifted to the left and Y is kind of blocked. That's interesting. But what they've asked us to do is on A, B, C, and D, they've asked us to make dot plots. So I have some dot plots I can write on. And so the thing I want to note about the female serum X is when I was talking a while ago, that's not a very pretty one, but it's kind of a normal distribution, but it's centered over here on the 0, 1% region. Whereas if you look at the female serum Y, it's centered more over here on the 12, 13, 14% region. So looking at question part E, compare the dot plots by comparing the most frequent category in each. Which of your two conclusions from question 1, parts F and G, are the same and which are changed? And so looking at the female serum X and female serum Y, the serum Y is still more effective as the dots for both serum Y plots are further to the right than serum X dots, which means a larger percentage gains were more frequent. So we've just looked at the female X and Y. I'd like to go ahead and look at the male and show that that's consistent, that it's more to the right. So looking at the male serum X, kind of a normal curve, but it's centered over here in the 4% area, far to the left as far as the hair gain. And finally, looking at male serum Y, it's boxy also. That's interesting that males and females turned out to be boxy. That would be another interesting thing to study. However, right around here, we're at the 12 and 13%, whereas we were over here at the 4-ish%. So definitely shifted more to the right. So as you finish writing something on E, you could also include that it does appear that serum Y was more effective with men, as the dots for men were more concentrated at higher percentage changes than for women. So the idea on this is that you are looking at a study. We're talking about a study. We're talking about what's good for the study and what we need to avoid for a study, and that you can, well, I started to say replicate. You can notate the study in multiple ways. We had it in a chart. We talked about percentages. We found an average of the chart information or the columns, and then we put each of the columns in a scatter plot, and then we can analyze that and look at that. So many things that we can do with a study. But for this particular study, we're done. 15D is done. And you need to look at your syllabus to see if you have more to do for this week. And keep on going if you do, or stop and celebrate if you are done for this week.